I'm Lunder. I'm currently a freshman at Colby College, and today we'll be examining the Adidas and Reebok merger. So, first, we have to understand the two parties involved. So, Adidas is a multinational corporation that manufactures shoes, clothing, and accessories. It is the largest sportswear manufacturer in Europe and the second largest sportswear manufacturer in the world behind Nike. And Nike is going to be a key component in this Adidas and Reebok merger and more established, and Adidas has a more established connection to European markets. I mean, for example, you have one of the biggest endorsements in Lionel Messi, who is greatly regarded as one of the best players of all time. He's an Argentinian soccer player who plays for FC Barcelona. So, just a little bit about their history. So, founded by Adi Dassler in 1949 in a small factory in Germany, and just a cultural difference. Adidas, as it's called in the U.S., is actually called Adidas in Germany. So I just thought I'd put it in there just for some interesting information. Later that year, the iconic three-stripe boot was registered and sold. And around 1972 to 1978, the Adidas shoe became popular in almost every sport in the world. And in 1993, the company got a new CEO who made the impossible job look easy. Robert Louis Dreyfus changed the direction of the company to a market-driven one. So now we get to talk about Reebok. So Reebok is an English-American footwear and clothing company founded in Massachusetts, Canton, Massachusetts, actually. Reebok sport is fitness in general. So the idea is that fitness is for anyone and everyone. Doesn't matter what age or size you are. It's for every day, not just game day. Pushing the limits and boundaries for athletes and fitness alike. Through sport, lives can be changed. So that's kind of Reebok's philosophy. Some history about Reebok. So Reebok was an extension of J.W. Foster and Sons Athletic Footwear Company, one of the very first to utilize track spikes, in their running shoes, and established in 1895. And Reebok was founded in 1958 by Joe and Jeff Foster. In 1979, Reebok hit the US and 28 country markets. And over the next years, Reebok signs with athletes as well as celebrities to establish itself in the markets. So, we have this Adidas and Reebok merger, so it's important to understand what a merger actually is. So, a merger is defined as a process in which two or more firms combine their operations. So, you have two types of mergers. You have a vertical merger, where it involves two firms at different stages of the production process, for example, a sugar refinery and a candy producer. And then you have a horizontal merger, which involves two firms producing a similar product, for example, two producers of pet food. So, now that we know that, we can understand, Adidas revenue before the merger. So we're specifically looking at the range between 2000 and 2005 because this deal happened in 2006. So as you can see, 2000 to 2005, they're keeping it steady around 5 billion, 5.8 billion to 6.5 billion. So that's around the revenue. And then if we go to this one, Reebok's revenue, and it also includes Adidas, which is a nice adjustment. This is between 1991 and 1997. So now we can kind of get what the market was looking like before the merger for revenue. So Adidas and Reebok merger approval, this was probably the most interesting part of the project because Germany approaches it differently than the US because Adidas was at the time a European driven company. So as I said, Germany approaches it differently. The executive board proposes it to the supervisory board and it's a full proposal. And then for this merger, Adidas used the Boston Consulting Group, and it's an international group, very well known. So before the proposal is made, due diligence will be done to get a lot of the information business case, and this is before the proposal. And then you have the official presentation to the supervisory board for regulations for approval. So, merger information, the commission approved the acquisition of the U.S. Reebok by the German Adidas Salmon at the time on 24th of January 2006 after a phase one investigation. And both the parties are global suppliers of sports and leisure equipment, footwear and clothing. So the commission was not concerned by creating of a leading European and worldwide group because the parties would face significant competitors with strong brands and market shares. Now, this is where Nike comes in. More merger information. So Reebok complements Adidas' international profile and enhances Adidas' strong position in North America. And this was kind of, what they were thinking, because Reebok has more of a market in the U.S. They had sponsors in the NBA, in the NFL, and at the time, Adidas was huge, and in soccer or football in Europe. So the merger almost just made sense. Adidas was going to get a very like a strong representative in the U.S., and Reebok was going to get a strong representative in Europe. So North America represents approximately 50% of the global sporting goods market, and with Reebok's, as I was saying, the Adidas Group's North American sales will more than double to 3 billion US, 3.9 billion. And then, as I was saying, in Europe and Asia, Adidas enjoys a stronger brand and recognition and has significant marketing and expertise and insights. Adidas expects to use this expertise to further develop Reebok's global presence. So now what's great about the first graph, you'll see the first graph that I showed you. It's the same graph as the one I was using for the Adidas revenue before, and it works perfectly because you can see from 2005 to 2006, there was almost a 5 billion spike in revenue that Adidas had, and that is due to Adidas and Reebok merging, and that is just how much this merger really affected, the market. And on the bottom, you can see a little pie graph, and you see before and after. And as you can see, after Adidas and Reebok, before they had like 19, they would have had 19%, but now they have 21%. So it's interesting to see how, kind of the market of each for the revenue in the graphs before the merger and after the merger. So quickly, we have to understand oligopoly. So an oligopoly is a market with just a few firms, and it occurs for three reasons. One, you have government barriers to entry. Two, you have economies of scale and production. And three, you have advertising campaigns. And in the graph below, it's just a graph of an oligopoly. And you see you have the two firms. You have marginal cost upper. That's what MC stands for. You have marginal cost lower. You have the price. You have the marginal revenue. You have the quantity. And you have the average revenue. So why was the deal approved? This is probably the most, if you learn anything today, this is probably the most important thing to understand. So the deal was approved due to market power. So since Adidas and Reebok were merging, the market had to look at other potential companies in the market to see whether this deal would make sense. So this is where Nike comes in, because Nike is part of the market that Adidas and Reebok would be merging in, which meant that this would be a successful merger in the sense that it would happen. So to make more sense of that, Adidas and Reebok, for example, this is not what happened, but if they were the top two companies in sportswear manufacturing and they were trying to merge, the deal will not be accepted, because that means there would be too much pricing power, which means the market wouldn't be able to sustain it and the deal would be denied. However, this deal was approved because Adidas and Reebok were merging, but they also had a serious competitor in Nike. Because as we know, Nike's the top manufacturer in the US and honestly, globally. So Adidas and Reebok merging saw it as competition to maybe take down Nike in a sense. And, as I was saying, there's not much of a concern because you already have a huge competitor with strong brands and market shares in Nike. And that is the bibliography, and thank you very much.